Nice YouTube channel you got there. Be a real shame if someone uploaded a
high school drama video.
I want to start today's video by asking you guys a philosophical question, but first I need to set up this scenario. Okay, let's say we got person A, we'll call him Hypocrite, and he makes a bet with person B. We'll call that person success avoided. When Hypocrite wins the bet and tries to collect, success avoided says that he was only joking when he made the bet, but also he only lost the bet because he forgot about it, but also he actually won the bet. So Hypocrite says, you know what, we'll call in a third-party impartial person to hear our cases and decide how we should resolve this. So person C comes in, we'll call him Kevin Spacey. But Kevin Spacey turns out to be a fence-sitting centrist pussy who doesn't actually make a definitive call in either direction, but does offer up a bunch of apologisms for the rat-faced weasel fuck who's trying to Welch on the bet. Now the question is this: if after all of this, person A makes a new bet with person C, and when they win the bet, person C refuses to acknowledge it or pay it, does person A have anyone to blame at this point other than themselves? That's obviously a rhetorical question. The answer is no, but I'm still going to complain about this anyway. And you know why? I'll tell you why I'm going to complain about this anyway. It's because if everybody else on this godforsaken platform is going to act like a rat-faced weasel fuck, then so the fuck am I.
All you have to do
You are now.
You don't know that we're talking.
Yeah.
All the op is that me and Crowd are going to pretend we've never spoken. That is the op.
How? Meet Tonka Rolling Wheel of the Disabled Tribe. Tonka hunts shiny rock in magic firebox.
So here's what happened. I bet Devin $10 that Andy Worski would win the fight against Tonka Saw. Now, worth noting that before we made the bet, the first thing I said was that Pussy Saw would not show. Of course, I knew from the beginning that was going to be the case, that he wouldn't show, and I bet Devin $10 that Andy would win. After we made the bet, Devin tweeted out this knee slapper. Someone screen capped this. I'm not going to get Zma'd by Welch, which is obviously a joke. I've never welched in my life, but of course, a couple people are actually so dumb that they responded to that, being like, hey, Devin, I got the screenshot. You know, as if I would ever make a bet and then deny making it. Now, incidentally, another YouTuber who goes by Keemstar also bet on the fight with a YouTuber named Tommy C. And Keemstar bet Tommy C $100 that Andy would win the fight. On Tuesday of this week, the same week that Devin uploaded his interview with Tonka Saw, where he extolled his respect and admiration that he has for the man, it came out that the fight was canceled because of Tonka's actions. Keemstar tweeted at Tommy saying, you owe me $100 because Tonka backed out. And within like an hour, Keemstar announced that Tommy had paid the bet. You see how easy and simple that is? But you might be saying to yourself, what does a bet between two other people have to do with your bet with Devin? And the answer to that is nothing, really. I only bring this up because, and take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, because I've never spoken to Tommy C and I don't watch his content, but the impression I've gotten of the guy based off of what I've heard other people say off him, and just like a cursory glance from a distance, is that he's like a rat-faced weasel fuck. So that's why I point this out, is that I think it's kind of sad and embarrassing that this rat-faced weasel fuck is acting like more of a man, like he has more integrity than somebody who, and it embarrasses me to say this, but I think we all know it's true, somebody I used to actually look up to as almost like a role model, at least insofar as being a YouTuber is concerned. While it pains me to say that, I guess that's one of the differences between Devin and I can admit when I've acted like a stupid retard and shown horrible judgment. Now, I will say this in Devin's defense, I looked up like the official betting rules, like what would happen if I had made this bet with an online bookie rather than, a friendly bet between colleagues or whatever you want to call us. And when a fight is canceled because one of the fighters can't qualify, the bet are nullified, right? It's like a non-fight, so there's no bet. So in that regard, Devin wouldn't have to pay. And you might be wondering, okay, well, that's that settled then. Why are you even making this video? And while I can't tell you how to feel about this, I just know that if the shoe were on the other foot, I would pay. That's how I feel about it. I mean, it's worth noting that when you're dealing with real fighters, the reason that the fight gets canceled is never due to one of the people engaging in a endless litany of self-sabotaging in order to get out of the fight. You know, when normal fights get canceled, it's because of injuries or something like that. If you haven't heard the official statement from the promoters, the fight promoters themselves as to why this fight was canceled, I'll just give you a quick rundown here. This is the official statement from Valor Fighting Challenge. Now, I'm just going to skip down to the end because it's quite long and I'm just going to cut to the chase here. Well, I'll put a link in the description if you want to read it yourself. Mr. Worski sent in his blood work and ID. He made it to Tennessee. He made weight officially. He passed his physical. He agreed to be held liable should one of his fans or himself be the proximal cause of distress for VFC or the Civic Coliseum. Mr. Tonka sent in someone else's blood work and ID. He did not make it to Tennessee. He was not here to check his weight. He has not undertaken a physical as per the UMMAF requirements. He did not agree to be held liable should one of his fans or himself be the proximal cause of distress for VFC or the Civic Coliseum. Tonka then did his own apology stream and he admitted to people in the chat who asked him about his hotel bookings and said he had never booked a hotel. And a guy named Zoom called the fight commissioner in Tennessee and asked if Tonka had applied for his fighting license, which he had not. Long story short, this guy never at any point had any intention of ever showing up. He didn't send in a promo pic. He didn't do a video of him signing the contract like was requested. He dodged and ducked at every turn. And there's no evidence that he's done any training. This guy is a fraud and a pussy. He's pussy fraud. He's a pussy fraud and everyone has disavowed him. Failure has disavowed him, has called him a compulsive liar. AP has disavowed him, called him a liar. And these people are angry and they have a right to be angry. But what's Devin been doing? Well, Devin tweeted out making fun of Andy for flying to the wrong city, which granted is hilarious, but the implication in Devin's tweet calling it a clerical error is to imply that because Andy made an honest mistake, which could have but didn't impede his ability to be at the fight, means that we need to give the same benefit of the doubt to Tonka, I guess. I'm thinking that's what Devin was trying to say, but it's so fucking embarrassing, man, because first of all, even if Andy did miss the fight based on an honest mistake, I would still pay the bet. I would still consider that a loss. Like you had to jump through these hoops. You got to be competent. You got to do what you got to do. That's part of the game. And if you can't do it properly, then you're a loser. Okay? That's first of all. So don't insult me by implying that like I would refuse to pay or something if Andy missed the fight because he flew to the wrong city. Secondly, when are you going to address the fact that this guy fucking lied to your face for months, man? I mean, that's the really cringy part. That's the part that really drives me crazy. That you're just going to like take that? You're just gonna let him get away with that? That shit, the fact that he lied to your face and you're out here still carrying water for the dude when no one else is more emasculating than any kind of welshing you could do on any bet. It's so fucking cringe, man. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing everyone around you, Devin. You need to do better.
That boy needs therapy.
Granny Gazoo, let's have it, you. Now when I count three.
That boy needs therapy.
How? My name is. What? My name is. My name is.
Quicker, it's Tonka.
How? My name is.
Where?
My name is.
When?
My name is.
Quicker, it's Tonka.
How? My name is.
What?
My name is. Pardon me. My name is.
May
I have the attention of the tribe?
Where?
My name is.
When?
My name is.
It's Tonka.
I'm here with a man I listen to, a man I admire. I admire him even more recently because he is stepping up to a challenge. He goes by the name Tonka. He is a YouTuber. He is a Native American. He is also a professional wrestler, but he's adding to that list. He's adding cage fighter. Tonka, welcome. How are you? Yeah, I really think he got backed into this and he doesn't really know how to react, and he's doing whatever he knows how to do to get out of it, but it's just too little too late, and it was never in the cards. Under no circumstance could he beat you. once the fight is set, like how will we ever know if it's for sure happening?
Whenever they get
Contracts?
whenever they get the contract signed. So
When
Okay, but
everything will get signed, and I know that there's still
I'll
some
put a
hurdles,
provision
a
in
few
there.
hurdles to go through that are mandatory. Everybody gets that. There are a few hurdles that have to go through mandatory. That's why no more hurdles are being thrown in by me.
And
Because I
then
already know
it
we've
will
got
be
this.
cemented.
Yeah.
The audiences will demand that it take place, and there's no backing out. Otherwise, you will lose all credibility in the eyes of the world.
that's what I
See,
go for.
At this stage, both parties have so adamantly said in public that they want to fight that it's hard to back out of that at this point. Like, how are you going to come up with an excuse? An injury, maybe fake an injury.
Yeah,
Well,
go
yeah,
ask Geek Thulu what it is. Yeah, Geek Thulu, get Andy some, get him an excuse ready, since we all know that you're the only one doing thinking and talking over there.
Andy Worski!
To elaborate on what Shamir had been saying, Andy Worski is making his way to the cage. His opponent, Tonka saw did not show up. Apparently 2 internet personalities making a name in the show.
Well, he does have a belt, though. I wonder what it's for.
I'm not a fighter, but after training for the past 3 months, almost every single day, I respect the fight game. I respect the fighters. I respect the people who come out of here and even get their ass kicked, because I was willing to come out here and get my ass kicked, Tonka. Where you at? I flew from Canada. He lives in Alabama, 1 state away. Low T Tonka. Where are you?